Now, lie number 4 that the enemy will tell us is that we don't have a purpose. What a lie this is. Now, this is something that I want to tell the enemy purposely, like straight to his face. Do you think that our intelligent, all-knowing, all-powerful, eternal God, who has no beginning, no end, never been a time he hasn't been here, never been a time that he will not be here, from the dateless past, and you cannot put a date on him, do you think he would make us for no purpose? We all have a purpose. As long as you are born, as long as you are alive, you have a purpose and you have a calling. Now, the calling of God on your life is not something that you should be scared of. It's not terrifying. It's not daunting. It's not a burden. It's not scary. A call of God on your life is what God has called you to do. Now, I remember as a youth, I felt like I had no purpose. I wanted to give up. I felt fed up. I felt depressed. I felt lonely because I left school without no qualifications. And my parents warned me, they said, Donville, you need to do good in school. You need qualifications to survive in this country called England. But I didn't listen. I must have went to over 100 job interviews without any joy. And you know what? I started to feel rejected from society. And rejection is dangerous, Rejection is very dangerous. Rejection can lead to loneliness. Loneliness can lead to anxiety. Anxiety can lead to self-doubt. Self-doubt can lead to despair. Despair can lead to depression. Depression can lead to hopelessness, and hopelessness can lead to suicidal thoughts or even death. Now, I didn't want to commit suicide or anything like that, but I believe that I was most probably suffering from depression and I didn't even know. I was no longer that jovial person. I had no enthusiasm. I had lost all hope for the future, all because I couldn't get a job. And you know what? I didn't even want to get out of my bed in the morning. I didn't want to get out of my bed. That's how bad it was. I felt alone. But you know what? I wasn't alone. Because I remember one morning I was lying down in my bed and I heard a voice saying, "Get up! Get up out your bed." My parents was not in the house. My sisters and my brothers was not in the house. But yet I still heard that voice saying, "Get up." And I remember telling, I think I was telling my mom about it. And she said, "Oh, if that was God talking to you, he spoke with a Jamaican accent." Now, when I think back, I believe it was the voice of God. And up to that day, from that day till now, I have never heard God's voice again like that, audible. But it was like, it was like actually someone talking to me face to face. Now, when I think back, I believe it was the voice of God, because I've never heard that voice again in an audible way like I heard it that morning. And it was like someone was in the room talking to me face to face. And you know what? I did get up. And I don't know why, but I went straight down to the West Indian World offices where they sell newspapers. It was a West Indian World paper. And I asked them if I can take some of these newspapers and sell them at Seven Sisters train station where I lived in Tottenham. And they said yes. So I bought myself a bag and went straight down to the train station and started to sell my newspapers. And even though I was not making much money, I loved doing the job because I was meeting all sorts of different people, and they would encourage me and tell me that they were proud of the job that I was doing, selling the newspapers. And I'm sure that some people only bought the paper because they wanted to encourage me as a youth. They wanted me, they wanted to show love to me because I got up and I was doing something. So that encouragement made me want to do things better. So I went to the local record shop, and I started to get in contact with record producers and artists, and any producers that would come from Jamaica or America, I would find them and ask them if they could give me some of their records so that I could sell it in the streets, and they would always say yes. I was building up a reputation of somebody that could sell records. So while my friends were selling weed, cocaine, I was selling records, CDs, and newspapers. And as the years went by, I started to go to barbershops, hairdressers, cricket grounds, and the local street markets, Walthamstow Market, Ridley Market, Petticoat Lane Market, and I would supply everybody in these markets. So I was building up a reputation and building up a business without even knowing it. And anywhere that there was a Caribbean community or an African community, I would be there. Birmingham, Nottingham, Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds, I would be there. Then I started to go international. I would go to New York, Toronto, Miami, Orlando, selling records. This was not an overnight process. It took about 20 years before I saw any real success. And I remember reading a book, and the author said it took me 20 years to be an overnight success. So what the man was saying is that people take no notice when you are doing the hard work. They only notice you when you are successful. And I'm sure that there's people on this platform today watching this video that can relate to what I'm saying. Now, anywhere there was a black community, I would go there without no fear.